the three sailors trapped in the USS West Virginia. The world tore itself apart in a scream of metal and fire. Below the waterline, the USS West Virginia shuddered, a wounded giant groaning its death rattle. For machinist's mate Ronald Endicott, the universe shrank to the deafening roar and the cold shock of seawater flooding the compartment. Then, darkness. A silence so profound it was its own sound, broken only by the groans of the dying ship. A beam of light cut through the black. "You all right, son?" a voice asked. It was Clifford Olds, his face grim in the flashlight's glow. Another shape emerged from the sloshing water. Lewis Buddy Costin, the oldest of the three, pulled himself onto a dry platform. Hatches warped. We're sealed in. He didn't need to say more. They were entombed. In the heart of the sunken battleship, they found a small pocket of air and a supply locker, a few ration tins, a freshwater valve, and a single flashlight. It wasn't a rescue. It was a reprieve. Time became their enemy and their only possession. On the second day, Clifford found a wrench and began to scratch a calendar into the cold steel wall. Each mark was a prayer, a declaration. We are still here. They fought the silence with stories. They spoke of baseball games, of girls back home, of the taste of fresh apple pie. Ronald, the youngest, described the Indiana fields in autumn until they could almost feel the sun on their faces. Hope was a flickering candle in a hurricane. Some days, the sounds of rescue seemed close, a tapping on the hull that faded to nothing. In the crushing disappointment, Buddy would put a hand on his shoulder. "We're sailors," he'd say, his voice a low anchor. "We hold the line." The calendar grew. 8 days. 10, 12. The stories dwindled. The air grew heavy and thin. Their movements became slow, deliberate, conserving every ounce of strength against the encroaching cold. The flashlight had long since died. Day 16, a hand, weak but steady, reached out in the absolute black and scratched one final mark. It was an act of defiance to the last. A testament whispered into the abyss. Then there was only the silence of the deep. 6 months later, when salvage crews finally cut through the hull, they found them. And on the wall, they found the calendar. It told a story the world would never have known, a story of courage in a place where no one could see, of a brotherhood that held the line for 16 days against the dark.
Where History Roams is honored to announce that we will be providing live coverage of the 84th anniversary of Pearl Harbor on December 7th. Join us for a solemn and in-depth look at this pivotal day in history, featuring footage and events from hallowed ground, including the Battleship Missouri Memorial, the Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum, the Pacific Fleet Submarine Museum, and much, much more across the Pearl Harbor historic sites. Follow our page now for the latest updates and exciting details you won't want to miss. We will see you in Hawaii for Operation Pathway to Peace.